The way I plant it is different than what I see a lot of people planting it.
So I take that's your favorite red kind of lettuce?
This is one of my favorite red lettuce. I don't like pelletized seed.
And why?
Mainly because I find that they don't. I wouldn't buy one of those. Sorry, Jang. We plant every 2 weeks.
There's probably 20 varieties here at least, maybe
there's
30.
like 50 or 60 different ones there.
Okay,
So,
there we go. So why do you like to use drip tape irrigation versus overhead for the lettuce?
the drip I like. It works better.
Yeah,
Because
but why? And how do you store your seeds? Hey, welcome back to our channel where we like to talk about gardening, homesteading, and woodworking. Hey, this time we're going to talk about our favorite lettuce varieties, why we like them, what are the desirable traits that we like about them, what kind of soil, when to plant them, and a variety of other things. So here we go.
All right.
What's your favorite kind? Huh?
Our favorite is Muir lettuce. It's M-U-I-R. You can get it from Johnny's Seeds, or you can get it from Harris Seeds. There's a lot of places that carry it. It's been the best one we've ever found for being slow to bolt in the heat, because we're very hot here. It's kind of a high desert climate here, and it's hot in the daytime and cool at night, and it gets cooking. And so,
could you explain to them what you mean by slow to bolt for those of you that aren't pro gardeners?
it's when the plant decides that it's got to reproduce seed, and so then it's going to send up a seed head, and by that time it's turned bitter, and it's no good for your salad anymore. It's worthless.
They call that bolting. So it sends up a seed thing. Yeah.
It sends up a main stalk that goes taller, and you can
And your lettuce is bitter.
We've grown all kinds of different kinds of lettuces. I mean, there's just tons of different things. We've tried all kinds of them, and the Muir has been the best.
There's probably 20 varieties here at least, maybe 30.
Like 50 or 60 different ones there.
Okay,
so
there we go.
There's a lot of different ones, and there's a few good ones in there, but Muir is the best for us.
Yeah, we've tried some lettuces for indoor growing too. Some of them they taste kind of like real grassy flavored or weedy flavored, and then some of them are just real watery. But we found that Muir's really good for the balance of flavor. To have kind of a sweet lettuce, it's really good. So, what's some of the other traits you like about the Muir type of lettuce?
It's tender, and as long as it's not, if you get it, as long as you get it before it starts to go a bolt, it's nice and tender. And it's very disease. I haven't had any problem with disease or anything with it, so it's kind of bulletproof for us. And the way I plant it is different than what I see a lot of people planting it. A lot of people just make a little furrow and then they just sprinkle the seed along there, and then they get too busy in the summer or springtime and they never get to thinning it, and then you just got this dense row of lettuce that it doesn't develop nice big leaves. It's all crowded together. You get mold and fungal growth in there. It's very unappetizing to go pick lettuce. So what I do is I on either side of the drip tape, I'll plant lettuce, and I'll plant it about 12 to 14 inches apart, and I'll just make one little spot, and I'll put in 3 or 4 seeds and move on down and do another one and just keep doing that. And then on the other side of the tape, kind of space it in between those two that you just put on the other side of the tape. So it's kind of a zigzag pattern.
7 inches apart, basically, if you're alternating, and 14 if you're looking only on one side of the tape. So they're 14 down here, and then you go on the other side, it's 14 down, but they're alternated layout.
Yeah, that way that gives more room for the roots to go. If you put them right side by side on either side of the tape, then they're fighting their roots area right there. So it's better to zigzag them. Anyway, and then when they germinate, then I just go in there and I just pinch off 2 of them or whatever, just so I leave one plant. No more, just leave one. And then you end up with a nice, beautiful head of lettuce. And then as we harvest it, we don't just do the cut off. We don't wait till it's nice and big and then just chop it off. And you can do that, but that's just not what we do. We go in there and we just pick the bottom leaves, and the plant keeps growing, we keep picking, and the plant keeps growing and we keep picking. Works really well. You get a lot of lettuce that way, and it extends the harvest window, and it works really good.
So I see you have another kind of.
Yeah, a garden is nice if it looks pretty. I don't like an ugly garden, so I like to put a little bit of color into it. And so I'll stagger. I'll put, red lettuce, green lettuce, red lettuce, or just put a section of red and a section of green or whatever, just to break it up so you don't just have one patch of green lettuce there. And then.
So I take that's your favorite red kind of lettuce?
This is one of my favorite red lettuce. It's called Merlot.
Merlot.
Yeah, and it's a really deep red, and it's also pretty slow to bolt. It's not quite as slow as the Muir lettuce, but it's slow enough. You get a good crop off of it. So yeah, that works really good. Makes it look nice. And if you want to get more unique, which I do like to add some things, they have speckled ones like Jaguar, and there's a lot of different varieties that have the speckled color to them.
So it's a variegated leaf.
Green and red together.
Mixed in the same leaf.
Yeah. So it adds some pizzazz to your salads. It looks nice. There are other varieties that have been good for us. The Jericho's a good one. That works good. Just quickly go through here, see if there's anything that sticks out. Leopard is another good one. That's the bicolored kind of a thing. Green Summer Crisp is good.
So some of those seeds are pelletized. Can you speak to whether you like to buy pelletized or use pelletized seeds versus non-pelletized?
I don't like pelletized seed.
And why?
Mainly because I find that they don't last as long.
You mean in storage?
In storage, yeah.
And how do you store your seeds?
I keep all my seeds in the freezer, and not just any freezer. You want a freezer that's, you can buy a frost-free freezer. You don't want those because those things have a defrost cycle, and it's always warming up, getting cold, warming up to defrost, getting cold, and that takes the life out of your seeds.
I think we'll have to make another video about how to store your seeds.
Yeah. So anyway, you just want to have a freezer that doesn't defrost, so it keeps it at a steady temperature all the time. And
so as far as germination, though, do you find any difference between pelletized seeds and non-pelletized seeds?
Well, yeah, just because of that fact that it's in the freezer, it doesn't keep as well in the freezer. And that's been my experience. Maybe you'll find it different.
And the reason they pelletize them is
just to make it easy to handle. If you got a seeder, it makes it easier and more consistent. By the way, I've got a what's it called, a Jang seeder. I wouldn't buy one of those. Sorry, Jang. They are so inconsistent. I'm a kind of a fanatic gardener, and I like things perfect, and that does not cut it. It doesn't space the seeds right. It's very irregular spacing, and everybody tells me, "Oh, you didn't have it adjusted right." Well, that's not the case. I've tried everything, and
you're welcome to try it for yourself.
Yeah, I've got one to sell.
Hit us up in the comment section below if you really want to buy it.
Yeah, it's brand new. I've tried it a few times, and it said, "No, it's not for me."
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get the greatest seeder around, and because I hate planting onion seeds and carrot seeds, and just for that reason alone, I bought the thing. And
so is there a best time of year to plant lettuce? How do you like to do it? Do you like to start them inside and bring them out, or do you want to just plant them in their soil they're going to be in? How do you like to do that?
Well, I grow lettuce indoors in the wintertime, and so I'm not in a great big huge hurry to get them out super early. But if you look at one of our other videos, you'll see that there's lettuce that are wild growing here and there and everywhere.
In the garden.
In the garden, because I let a couple plants go to seed every year, and let the seeds sprinkle. The wind blows them around, and they'll be the first ones up in the spring. And so that works out really well. So I'm not in a great big hurry to get the lettuce planted in the spring.
About what time you plant them?
Here our last frost date is somewhere around the 1st of May. And so, you can get them in by then. It's fine.
So what kind of soil do you like to plant them in? What kind of soil conditions do you like to have?
Just light and pretty loamy, well aerated. We have a lot of organic residue left in the soil, so it's pretty light and fluffy. And that works well. And being that it's
well drained or not?
Yeah, it's well drained, very well drained. And being that it's a leaf, that you're eating leaves, you're not eating fruit. You can really do a fair amount of nitrogen on it. And of course, we're talking organic. our garden is all organic. So when I say nitrogen, I'm not saying anything but organic source of nitrogen.
Like chicken droppings or pigeon droppings. Or
Yeah, cow
kind of thing.
manure or whatever, rabbit
Yeah.
manure, goat manure, all that is good in nitrogen. And of course, if it's composted, that's that much better. But yeah, you can put a fair amount on that and not be afraid of it. It won't burn it or anything. So that's pretty much what you need for the fertilizer. You don't really need a lot of potash because that's for your fruit size. A little bit of phosphorus is fine. That gives you a better root system. So that kind of takes care of I think that covers the needs of the plant. And then we plant, I didn't mention before, but we plant every 2 weeks. We try to do every 2 weeks. And so you have a continual harvest of fresh, premium quality lettuce all summer long. When it gets really hot, you may find it a little difficult to get the seeds to keep them moist enough to keep them germinating well. And sometimes you can just sprinkle just a little bit of mulch over the top, just very lightly, and that just shades the ground a little bit right where the seeds are at. And then just watch carefully when they start to germinate, just move that mulch off. And it works good that way. Or you can use a board. You can put a board down over it. But then you have to always remember to lift the board and peek under it all the time.
So why do you like to use drip tape irrigation versus overhead for lettuce?
The drip I like, it works better.
Yeah.
Because
But why? Yeah.
there's no weeds to deal with because it's not water and everything. That's the main reason, and it's not getting the plant wet and causing more mold and disease issues.
Yeah, a lot of times you get water sitting there
kind
in
of
the
rotting
base
down
at
at the
the
base
lettuce.
of it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
diseases.
the drip is pretty much what we do on just about everything. There's a couple things we do overhead, but lettuce is a drip system.
Hope that was really helpful for all of you. Leave us a comment down in the section below. Give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. We need more subscribers. Help the channel take off and help us get more content to you. So, as always, remember, Jesus loves you.